ResortLoop.com is proudly sponsored by Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company. Look for Joffrey's kiosks throughout the Walt Disney World theme parks. This holiday season, visit Joffreys.com for a variety of specialty coffee gifts, featuring mugs, their new coffee variety gift sets, and the brand new Jingle Jangle Java-flavored coffee, with vanilla mint flavor and smooth chocolate and nutty notes, only at Joffreys.com.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
For those of you who have joined us at the Polynesian Village Resort Hotel, aloha, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World local monorail system. During the trip, we request that everyone please remain seated and that there please be no eating, drinking, or smoking. Thank you. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
The HolidayThon continues, Bob.
Yes, it does. The eggnog is still a-flowing.
I'm getting a little slap happy, I'll be honest.
Whew, man. Yeah. We've had some rough shows because we probably shouldn't have been drinking the eggnog.
Yeah, there's one
or two
coming up, or I don't even know where we're at. It really should have been re-edited or just redone, but whatever.
Well, wait a minute now. Whose idea was it to add 3 extra shows?
Well, yeah.
To this holiday?
I know.
You wanted 12 days of shows.
Wait till next year, my friend.
No, we're not doing a month-long HolidayThon. It's not happening.
Oh, Bob, I'm very excited about today's HolidayThon show.
Me too. This is very exciting, and you know what? We're kind of blessed because she is feeling under the weather and yet decided to come on our show anyway.
I'm very disturbed by her already.
She needs to reevaluate her lifestyle lately.
Actually, joining us on the show with a trip report and some different insight is a new SuperLooper, Bob. Joining us is Miss Stacy, actually it'd be Mrs. Stacy Gilbert.
Hello!
Stacy, thanks for joining us on the show.
I am starstruck. I have become a massive fan. I binge listen to the show, so I am thrilled to be with you guys.
Oh, my. No wonder she's sick.
Exactly.
That's more of a mental illness. So, real quick, before we get started, though, you're not contagious, right? I mean, nobody in Looper Nation's got to worry about this. Right?
No. You guys are all far enough away from me. My family, on the other hand, the only sadness is that, I love me some eggnog, and no eggnog, no any of that with antibiotics. But that's okay. I'm just thrilled to be here.
Well, we're thrilled to have you here.
Yes.
Very, very thrilled. So you had a little bit different experience. You went to Walt Disney World with your family a little while back late summer, spring?
Yes, we were there at the very end of September, early October.
Okay. All right.
Tell us about your family dynamics first. Like, how many are going? How's this looking?
So this was our very first trip to Disney World after years and years of planning. In fact, it's hysterical. I have a picture of a little bank that we are keeping, a piggy bank for funding, our next trip, and it was started in 2009. So it took us a while to get there, but my husband and I took 4 kids to Disney World for the first time, ages 10 down to 1. So we were really, we dove in head first.
Wow.
So this is a very different dynamic than most folks, because most folks are going with 4 or less, right, which makes it easy to find a room. But you're talking 6 people now.
You're running a zone defense.
Yeah, oh man, were we ever zone defensing? And it was, it's funny. I kind of realized and got the feeling when we were down there, we're like, it definitely is set up, I think, perfectly for families of 4. The rooms are set up great for that. The accommodations, kind of even just the setup of 1 parent per child. You can go stand in line. Someone can go somewhere else. So when we got down there, and especially the ages of the kids, I think once they were older, it might be a little bit different. But with them being so little, we found ourselves definitely in a zone defense. And even when we started kind of getting our rooms and accommodations, we realized there's only a couple places that we could really go, at least within our price range. Now, maybe there's something out there for other price ranges that we did not realize. But there was 2 places. We ended up staying at the Port Orleans Riverside, which was beautiful. And it was kind of a regular room, and they brought in a crib, and they also had one of those kind of Murphy beds that came out too. So we were cozy for about a week.
Oh, well, yeah. 4 people or 6 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Tight accommodations. Now you're not going to do this when they're teenagers, right?
I don't know
sure.
how long we could get away with that. No, probably not. This, maybe another trip we could get away with that still.
Right. So, well, that's good. Because, Tim, what are we talking as far as accommodations for? We've talked about this before. We're talking maybe Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness cabins.
Right.
Yeah, Wilderness cabins. You have what, the family suites at Art of Animation,
and All Stars.
Yeah, the music has some,
and maybe some of the DVCs.
Yeah, DVCs
get away,
right.
but you're talking quite a bit of more money.
That's a huge jump.
Yes. Right. And we had looked into the suite too. That might be a next step for us that would be helpful. Just to even have that second room option, I think, for the kids to go to sleep and maybe whoever's up to stay up. Of course, we all just kind of passed out as soon as we got home anyhow, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But I think, some of the things we realized on this trip, I'm keeping notes, I'm keeping mental notes, mom of 4 kids on the trip, and I'm like, things I would probably do differently given the chance again. And that might have been one of them, only because as much as I loved the area, I think our agent, we didn't really go through a Disney specific agent. And I think if we had, we probably would have been steered a little bit more, not so much not to Port Orleans Riverside, because again, I would love to go back there again, but we just didn't really know to upgrade to anything even closer. So we kind of ended up, we were probably walking another almost mile once we got off transportation to even get to our rooms, which at the end of a very long day seems like it's 10 miles. We were pretty far from any of it. And we just didn't really know. We didn't know that we were going to have all this additional walking, even just to get to either the store or the front or the restaurant or the pool. And I think someone who might have been a Disney specific agent might have seen our family specifically and known that probably would be in our range of need.
Right, because till you mix in strollers.
Oh, man.
And possible umbrellas with the weather. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, so much stuff. We had so many bags and strollers and we were just ready to... We didn't even know that they didn't have elevators. So... And I mean, this is all our own fault for not knowing this, but when we got there the very first day and after a long trip and on our first flight, which was very exciting, but also a lot of work, and we get there and we walk through and then we walk all the way back to our room, and it's a beautiful place, but we're up on the second floor and we have this baby sleeping in a stroller. We're like, oh, we're not seeing an elevator anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
So now they were fantastic because when we called them and they switched us to a first floor one, which was great. But again, we just didn't know.
So you guys did not rent a car. You took Disney transportation everywhere?
We took Disney transportation everywhere. And we did not rent a car. And again, going through being on a Disney property, it was fantastic once we got to Orlando Airport and how they kind of just take your bags for you and have them set up at your room. I mean, that you immediately start out your trip feeling, wow, this is different. This is nice. This is something special. But when we were there too, yes, I think we definitely planned on staying on Disney property for the transportation. We just kind of grossly underestimated how much of our day and time kind of did need to go into planning out the transportation of it. So having to leave the park when we did at the end of each night, we didn't really have the luxury of staying back because of the kids' ages. So we were just kind of in it with the whole crowd. And that was kind of crazy. We were standing, holding a baby, holding a stroller, trying not to smoosh the poor person in front of us. Had the other kids, 2 of them, which were probably sleeping. So we're holding some of them. So by the end of the week, we started taking taxis everywhere that we went. And that was a godsend.
Yeah, that's a smart move. Very smart move.
It really wasn't that much money compared to everything else anyhow. And the peace of mind to be able to just to get all of our kids in one spot and kind of safely back to the resort was priceless.
Now, did you tell them you were like a party of 6? Did they send vans or you just all cram into like a Prius? How'd you do it?
They had vans. You know, it was fantastic. They had vans, so they just took my stroller, they popped it in the back. We all got in. They even had car seats available. So they knew that the baby would need a car seat, so they popped the car seat in. And they made that part easy. Now, the part that was not easy that I didn't realize until I was there, and again, your listeners probably know this already, but being a first-timer, really the taxi scenario at Disney is kind of difficult. They won't drop you off right at the top, the front of the park. You have to, if you want to get, at Magic Kingdom, for example, if you wanted to get a taxi, you could go to the transportation center. What we ended up doing, though, was just kind of walking down to the Contemporary, and then they would call a taxi for us. So that was nice. Now, and they also couldn't necessarily get into our resort. They couldn't drop us off right at our door, kind of wind in. They would drop you off at the front, and then you would kind of just get your stroller out and walk to the back. But yeah,
that's interesting. I wonder why they can't do that, Tim. Any ideas? Probably.
I would say security.
Oh, maybe
security. They don't want a whole bunch of taxis just driving around property. Right. I would guess. That's
true. And I'm sorry. I'm just going to go on a quick tangent here because this is one that kind of irritates me. We've talked about it on the show. Listen, Looper Nation, and I know Looper Nation doesn't do this, but tell the other people
exactly.
If there's somebody holding a baby and standing on the bus, stand up, let them sit down. If they're, you know how I feel about guys sitting, and when a lady's standing,
you are chivalrous.
That. Oh, don't get me started. So,
see what you did, Stacy? Do you see what you did?
I'm sorry. I will say the people on the buses were fantastic to us. And I mean, outside of a couple times where we were standing with a baby, and that was pretty rough, even safety-wise. A lot of people did kind of get up and offer the seats, even to my daughters, which I thought was very sweet, too.
Yes.
Nice. They were Looper listeners.
They were. Yeah, I'll bet you. That's right. So keep that in mind. All right, I'm done. That just gets to me.
Oh, he's stepping off the box.
I need more eggnog.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Thank you, Bob.
I don't think you
for
do.
Sticking up for all of us with babies and strollers.
Come on.
I think you're an angry nog drinker is what you are.
Now, I know they run into the back of our ankles with those strollers, but still.
That's right.
How many ankles did you take out with the... Did you have one of those jumbo strollers with the
we
kids?
We had like a double we had a double seater, and probably more than I even knew that we did. I would say none. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure some poor person in front of us, without realizing it, I probably nipped at their ankles, and thank God they were all very kind to me.
I'll tell you what, Stacy, I miss being able to push a stroller around because that was like our base of operation.
Yes.
With the big basket, it had cup holders.
Absolutely. And one of the other things I think I would have done in retrospect was, and I don't know why I fought it for the whole week, but I think I would have just sucked it up and every day rented 2 double strollers and just kind of put everyone in a seat at some point. And I think we would have saved ourselves a couple of afternoons of people just being done. And even though they were taking turns pretty nicely, in and out of the back part of the one stroller. If we had done that, especially the day we tried to do Epcot, I'm like, man, we should have just done 2 double strollers and just walked all around that beautiful little world section, and we wouldn't have had to just go to one spot and leave.
Right.
That's a good call, yeah.
So tell us some of the mistakes you made when you did go to the parks.
And now looking back too, like I've joked about it. I think I've said before too, I'm like, it's kind of like having kids. So the more days that I'm away from it, the all I remember is this magical, awesome, beautiful week. And if I really start to kind of think back to it, I'm like, oh man, there was some blood, sweat, and tears in there too. The kids were fantastic. I realized that my 10-year-old's age was probably the ideal age. I mean, man, she was in it to win it every single day. The middle 2 were pretty good, but definitely got exhausted. I think the one day we realized we made a big mistake because we kind of did a big impulse buy and decided last minute to do that Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, which was great, but we did it because I hadn't realized that they weren't going to do fireworks the other nights that we were there, and I just decided, I'm like, gosh, I can't have my girls not see fireworks at the castle. We got to pay like $400 to go to this party. And we had already had other dining reservations that for whatever reason I didn't think we could change either. So we were at the park all day and then stayed for the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. And that was an impulse decision that was probably not the best move.
That's a long day.
Best on our money. Yeah. You know, it was, I kind of was thinking it was going to have a little more access, you know, like maybe we were going to be able to get on rides a little bit easier or something. But it really was so crowded. I mean, I kind of compare it to some walking through like Times Squares at times because it was so packed, and it was an awesome and amazing party. I mean, the parades were amazing. We just couldn't really see much of it. The kids for sure couldn't see much of it. The rides were still pretty busy, as you would expect. And by the end of the night, like I had one kid standing actually watching the fireworks, two crying, asking to please go home. And my husband, baby, and one of the kids who just decided they're like, we'll just start walking towards the bus. We'll meet you guys out there. So that's how that ended. Probably not our best $400 we ever spent. But, you know, and it's funny. We had gone into it being like, we're probably not going to go to this. You know, this was the plan. But for whatever reason, I got there and I was like, oh, we got to go.
Yeah,
and
they hook you.
Yeah, they do, man. They certainly do. Because I'm like, I just can't not go all of a sudden. All of a sudden. So that's something I wouldn't have done. I think a couple of things I did that I would do differently. You know, I read a ton of blogs. I listened to a ton of podcasts. And I decided to use one of the days as a half day, Animal Kingdom as a half day. And, you know, with the ages of my kids looking back on it, that was like not even a half day, really. It was a full day again. You know, by the time you do transportation, do Animal Kingdom, transportation back, then we had dinner reservations somewhere. And so what I thought was going to be kind of a rest day for these young kids was not. So I think next time I would definitely plan more very specific rest days, probably with no parks, no dinner reservations, just stay at the pool and catch our breath.
Yeah, that's always a good time. You always got to make sure you take that rest and relaxation day, especially with little ones. It makes it easier. Now, I will say this. Everybody that we know that's down there that live around the Orlando area, they were commenting on how uncharacteristically crowded it was at that time of year. Usually it's not as crowded when you were down there. So keep that in mind, you know, that you actually picked a good time. It was just not the usual crowds that they get. Usually it's a lot less.
Because when I was there, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, if this is considered off season, I can't imagine going in season because it was so crowded. I'm thinking, my gosh, I can't even imagine. And it was really hot too.
I was going to ask, was that when it was unseasonably hot?
It was 90 plus every day.
Nice.
It was, we were sweaty messes, but it was, I mean, I can't even tell you it, you know, I can't even compare to how awesome it was, but we were definitely, we looked like we had been dunked in a pool at times. It was crazy.
Tell us a little bit, you said you were on the dining plan, yes?
We did. Yes, we did the dining plan. That's one of the things I try to think about now if I would do it again. I definitely feel like we got every penny's worth out of it. So especially with the size of our family, we did like the 2 snacks and a sit down each day. So we definitely got our money's worth. The thing I did find what I wasn't expecting was they considered the baby as my 6th person in the party. So he was 1 when we were there. And I just never even dawned on me because they don't count him for the actual meal plan even. It never dawned on me that when I was making my reservations that I would have to be making them for 6. I was actually making them for 5 because I figured it would be 5 people eating, 5 people on the dining plan. The baby would probably sit on our lap or whatever, wouldn't eat really. But when we got there, yes, the baby was absolutely counted as the 6th person, which automatically put us into a different category. You know, they would add the 18% gratuity onto our every single night that we went somewhere as considered kind of to be a large party. So I was surprised by that, only because I just don't count him really.
Yeah, right. No, sure.
Right, he's not getting a plate of food.
And no, he wasn't. He was eating like some macaroni off our plate or something.
Right.
And he did have a high chair. And they explained it to me that they have to do that for safety reasons. Like they're physically counting each person that's there. So that makes sense to me. But I did find it kind of crazy about the adding it into the big party category for gratuity, which I guess in the grand scheme, you're going to be tipping anyhow. So it probably was the same thing anyhow. But it just kind of felt strange to me.
Yeah.
But now I know. I mean, for sure, next time we go, he will be full-on member of the dining plan.
The dining plan, yeah.
Still, I wonder sometimes if I would do the dining plan again, only because I do feel like it kind of ended up dictating my week a little bit more than I would have wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
That I couldn't see that when I was planning it. But when we were physically there, each night trying to get to these character meals, which the kids loved, and they were great, but we're kind of leaving the park, and I'm realizing now, I'm like, wait a minute, I ended up getting reservations at all these places at 8:30, thinking I was this hotshot getting reservations at these places, not realizing that, of course, each night I'm missing fireworks, I'm missing the parade, and I'm like, oh, that's why it's available.
There's always a reason. Oh, my goodness.
What was your family's favorite restaurant while you were there?
You know, we really liked the very last day we were there. We went to, oh my gosh, I have forgotten the name, Crystal Palace.
Yes.
Yeah.
We thought it was the best food they had. We really liked it. And all the kids loved the characters. And it was great. It was really great. And it happened to be, we were down there for a big birthday of mine. And, so it happened to be on the birthday and celebrating my other daughter's birthday too. And they just did it up so nice and they were so sweet. So that was great. We also went to the place at Epcot, and I can never remember how to say it, but it's the place with all the princesses. It's like the Norwegian restaurant.
Akershus.
Yes.
God bless you.
Gesundheit.
That one, the food was not my favorite, but the whole setting of it and the princesses, my kids were mesmerized by it. I would probably definitely go back.
Yeah, that's a nice little restaurant. You kind of get a feel for what it's like to eat in the castle. It's very similar, like eating in the castle. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah.
But you didn't have to spend $600 to eat there, which is what you would have spent if you would have eaten at the castle. So
I liked it better than last minute, we kind of got reservations to be our guests for lunch, not for dinner. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it was just, I thought, heads and feet above that experience. That was not a great experience for us.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Why is that?
Was it,
the food or?
No, the food was just okay. I think the lunch experience in and of itself is, we didn't go for the sit down dinner, so we were kind of going in, and it's that new thing where you walk in and then you go up to like a kiosk and put your order in. Mm-hmm. So they kind of walk in. There was just a ton of people. It just felt like people were just kind of all shoving in. Well, let me back up. First of all, we ran from the front of Magic Kingdom to Beauty and the Beast Castle because we were afraid we were going to be late for our reservation.
Oh, okay.
So we were, again, sweaty and exhausted by the time we made it there. And then when we got in there, it kind of just felt like a big kind of shuffle of people kind of herding through, making our reservations or making our menu choices. And then we went and found a seat. It just was not, it was nice inside. It was very nice inside, but the girls liked seeing like the ballroom and going over to see like the magical rose and the enchanted rose. But other than that, I probably would not have made the huge effort to get there for that. Okay,
yeah, it is a different experience with the sit down. Did the Beast come through at all during your meal?
No characters. So I'm like, without the characters there, as cool as it was being inside of it, I mean, we probably could have gone someplace else and had just as nice of a time at Magic Kingdom.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, I've only been there for dinner, and dinner was excellent. But again,
and I'm sure that would be such a different experience. But the lunch itself was not my favorite dining experience there.
See, if it's hot out and you're exhausted, you just want to sit down at your table and have people wait on you.
Right, yeah. Right.
I've stood in line enough. I've been in plenty of queues.
The people in the lines were just kind of, I think they were hot and cranky too, so they were like, it just was not magical.
Right.
Right.
It did not have the Disney magical feel there, but it might have just been the 90+ degree day and these people just being kind of tired and hot. And yes, I'm sure if we went back, it would be a different experience.
Right. Keep in mind, the cast members are being paid to be nice. The guests, not so much.
Right.
So, but and that's another point too. Really, I mean, everybody's hot and tired. That doesn't mean you can't be nice. And I mean, everybody's there, and just be nice to your fellow guest.
That's
and,
right.
Have a good time and give up your seat and let, kids eat first. I'm in a
you
mood.
okay? Oh my goodness, you are. You're cranky. You put on your cranky pants today.
I want, the first of the year, New Year's, the 2016 is right around the corner.
It is. It's coming up.
I want all you people that don't do that, not you, Looper Nation.
No.
Tell those other people. Tell them
the royal you.
Tell them to be nicer in 2016. I'm just saying.
Oh,
come on! If we can't get along at Disney World, what hope do we have for the world?
That's one of our mantras here at the house. We say, "Just be nice." 3 little words.
Nice.
Just be nice.
Right.
Stacey, do your kids go through any kind of like Disney dining withdrawal later? Like you go out to eat or you cook stuff at home. There's no characters.
Oh, yes. I mean, that's the thing, too. We got so spoiled with the dining plan, going to these character meals every night. That's one thing that if I didn't do it next time, and I'm sure it all ends up being the same amount of money, but something about paying for it in advance versus shelling out each night the character meal amount.
Mm-hmm. Right.
We got home, and I mean, luckily we saved a few things and our awesome, drinks and our cups that we got from the resort. And I mean, honestly, there were like these levels of us trying to like get ourselves back into real life after coming back from Disney. It took me longer than anyone in my house. I mean, I was 3 weeks into it, and I was like, "Oh, this time 3 weeks ago." Like,
yeah, you're still wearing your magic band, aren't you?
Oh my God, it's hanging in my bathroom so I can see it every day. That's so sad. I mean, I'm like, I cannot wait to go back. I saved all of the just little things from the trip. I have them all upstairs. It's like we're ready to go at any point.
Stacey, we need to get you on a Disney cruise.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to try a Disney cruise.
That's a whole new level of being pampered.
Oh. Yeah.
Stacey, let me tell you about this. So you're at dinner with your kids.
Yeah.
Halfway through dinner, the kids club comes to get your kids for you. They take them to the club, and you and your husband finish dinner.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking it up immediately online.
We know a guy if you need some help.
Right, exactly. Oh my gosh. Well, it sounds like you had, even though there were some bumps that maybe could have been smoothed out going through a Disney certified travel agent. You still had a good time, and you're looking to go back. Yes. Oh,
honest to God, it was probably one of the absolute greatest trips of our life. We had an amazing time. The kids had an amazing time. There were moments I probably cried twice a day, if not more, for just some type of moment that I knew I would probably never have again, or was just so special that it made even, being hot or standing in line or whatever, who cares? Because those things will just they will live in my heart forever, not to be too.
How did the girls react to the castle the first time they saw it?
Gasped. And if I had known, and again, I didn't realize this, I'm taking pictures all along. I'm taking pictures in the front, before we come in. And by the time, it's funny because we got off the plane, we got in the hotel, and again, you're kind of going. But as soon as we walked up and saw the Magic Kingdom, even just the front of it, something came over me. I got teary the first time I saw it, and I was like, this is special. This is different. And then we walk in, the kids are oohing and eyeing, and if I had known, I would have had a video camera on their faces when we turned down Main Street to see the castle for the first time. But it's probably better I didn't, because I watched them instead, and they gasped. And it was just one of those moments that, I will remember for the rest of my life, and makes me want to go back tomorrow. I would go back tomorrow.
Right. That is awesome.
It was awesome.
How cool.
Yeah, we loved it. We loved every minute of it. We would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, Tim and I were talking, and we think that we should follow you around the next time you go.
That's right.
Plan on a party of 8.
That's right. Uncle Tim and Uncle Bob are going.
Hey, I would actually like the 4 adult to 4 kid ratio. So
Exactly.
please.
Back to a man-to-man defense.
There you go. There you go. Well, Tim, that I think is all I have for Stacy.
Oh, Stacy, thank you so much for joining us on the show. It was awesome.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I will keep listening and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And thank you guys so much.
Oh,
thank you very much.
Yeah, same thing to you and your family. Thank you so much. Everybody, I'm Tim Scott. You can find me on Twitter, ResortLoopTim, on Facebook at Tim ResortLoopScott, and the website, ResortLoop.com.
I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget Facebook.com/ResortLoop. Like us over there. Rate us on iTunes. Check out MyDizMatch.com. And where else can they listen, Tim?
You can always find us on the Stitcher. As the HolidayThon continues, everybody, this is the gateway to the magic.
Are we almost done? I mean,
nowhere near yet. Nowhere near.